Hello and welcome to 700 Club Nigeria. We're glad to have you here with us today, and hopefully you'll end the day way better than it started.
Absolutely. And there is no better way to start today's episode than by answering at least one of the many questions you sent us on this program. Okay. We have here Mrs. Samuel, who writes in. She says, I am depressed and confused. I am a widow for over 20 years, and I raised the children all by myself. I am now tired and emotionally unstable. What am I to do at this point, Susan?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mrs. Samuel, I'm sure it's a tough place to be at.
It is.
Raising children alone for over 20 years. I can't imagine the pressure, the emotional, financial pressure, and all that it demands of you. I'd like to encourage her to find community, find a group of people that she can trust, especially people in church, a good Bible-believing church that will be a good support to her. Absolutely. Get involved, because sometimes when we are cocooned in our own corner, we forget that other people have problems too. And when you meet other people's needs, somehow your own needs get met, So
Absolutely.
Let her not stay alone, Mrs. Samuel. Find a place where you can confide in someone and, make friends.
Very true. And just to add as well, Mrs. Samuel, all I can also say to you right now is that what's your relationship with Jesus Christ? If it's not very strong, I'll ask that you do something about it. Have a personal relationship with God, and He will help you. As long as you continually seek Him and you cast your cares and burdens on Him, He will always come through for you. Now, don't go anywhere. The day just got started. We have so many exciting things to come on the program today. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Right now, we'll be going way back, as we sometimes do, to bring you the story of an exceptionally multi-talented young man. If you described him as one who is all things to all men, you wouldn't be totally wrong. Here is Femi Alade's story.
Femi Alade is a remarkable young man with many talents. And from a very tender age, Femi began to hone his skills. You see, Femi always believed he could do just anything.
I'm the last of 4 kids. Then there was no such thing as mobile phone. They called landline then. And then my dad got one. When the phone rings, everybody will rush there. You want to be the one to answer the phone and all that. After a while, everybody got tired of rushing to answer the call. Then the burden of answering calls now rested on the last child in the house. We had a radio then. I'd read the manual once, and I knew you could connect a mic to the phone, to the radio. And then whatever you were saying would come out through the very big speaker, and everybody in the house would hear it. So I was like, this phone is almost behaving like this radio, in the sense that you're going to hear, and then you can talk through it, but then it's not loud enough. So one fateful day, I just opened up the radio, I opened up the phone, and nobody was around. I saw the 2 wires, I went to the headset, the one that went to, okay, this is like the microphone. This should go out and come in. Okay, I disconnect the cable, then I connected it, and then connected the switch. I think at evening, a call came in. So I just stood up from my room, and I put on the switch. Hello? So when they heard on the radio and all that, everybody would rush, like, what's happening, what's happening? I was like, the radio, you can just talk. And my dad was like, serious? I said, Sadi, I'm hearing you. I was very excited.
From altering telephone connections, Femi launched into sewing, writing, cooking, photography, playing the talking drum, and many other things. He says he's committed to acquiring new skills as the need arises.
You will be needed when you provide a solution. You'll be relevant in the society you're in. Talent is involved, there's some talent, but then it's more about putting all you've got into whatever you want to do. If I put myself into surgery in 2-3 years, you think I'm a talented, in fact, you call me a talented surgeon. So whatever I choose to do, I just put all myself into it and then I get it done.
Femi's passion for providing solutions led to the birth of Pleris Mobile Limited, a smartphone company which has gained him recognition in the Nigerian telecommunications industry.
Pleris is the Greek word for complete. And then when you put those two words together, Pleris as complete, then mobile as complete mobile solution. So there's several things we do. We develop mobile apps, we design hardware, phones, tablets, just bringing solutions to people while they're on the go. Because right now, the world is being lived on the go.
Assembled in Nigeria, the Pleris mobile smartphones and tablets are designed to meet the functional challenges encountered by mobile phone users in Nigeria.
When we started designing mobile phones and all that, we thought to ourselves, what are the challenges normal phone users face in Nigeria? First is power. Your battery runs out so fast. So the first thing we did was, okay, let's design phones that wouldn't consume so much power and then also increase the battery capacity of that particular phone. So it's like two solutions. Okay, you're reducing consumption and increasing battery capacity, giving you more power on the go. And then we noticed that phones get stolen so easily in this part of the world. Some people have their certificates and all that scanned and kept on their mobile phones right now. I have friends that have their international passports scanned and kept on their mobile phone. That's their identity being kept on your mobile phone. Now, if this is stolen, you might not just want to recover the hardware itself, you want to recover all your data or make your data inaccessible to whoever has stolen it. We now said, okay, why not develop a service? And what does it do? When installed on your phone, it tracks you, or rather you track you using this app. If your phone gets missing, you can really retrieve it.
Femi is positive that Pleris Mobile Limited has come to stay, irrespective of the challenges it is faced with.
What part does God play in all of this?
For me, God is involved in everything I do. He's the reason I can do all these things, and he's the only person that can help me. I actually know for a fact that without him, I can do nothing.
Femi is committed to doing more to make better the Nigerian economy and the rest of the African continent. And he says anyone can do the same.
Whatever you're doing, make sure it's adding value to whatever society you find yourself in. If it's about you, then you have to go back to your drawing board and then start all over again. Look for something that's about God and then it's adding value to society.
Okay, now this is really interesting. After seeing his story, we knew we had to follow up on this young man. Now, seeing that this interview on this program was a few years ago, we needed to know what the multi-talented young man had been up to lately. So it gives me great pleasure to have a one-on-one chat with this gifted young man. Now, I don't know if it's Femi that's sitting with me right now or someone else. Let me just be very sure. Are you Femi Alade?
Yes, I am.
You are? I just saw you on TV now. What happened?
Well, life happened.
Life happened to you. And it did happen, man. You've transformed. Wow.
Yeah,
nice. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome
nice.
to 700 Cup Studio again.
Yeah.
Nice to have you.
Nice being here, too.
Great, great. First of all, what's about this hair, man?
Well, I started growing my hair, I had an accident earlier this year.
Oh.
And I was bedridden for 2 months. And I was growing my hair then. Well, I couldn't cut the hair then because I was bedridden. After I got better, I just felt like, well, why not keep the hair?
Wow.
And then I kept it.
Nice. You look different, but it's nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Mm-hmm. And you've added some meat.
Yeah, I went into fitness too and started working out.
Okay.
Fitness became a part of my life at one time. And then it kept me, it kept me stable for a very long time. I went through a lot of stuff, running Pleris Mobile and all that. And then I needed something that would keep me mentally fit and alert. Fitness was the thing I could turn into. And
great.
It's helped me.
Okay, so let's cut to the chase. Let's come straight to what. What's been happening to Pleris Mobile?
Well, we started well. It was a good ride. That's what I say.
Okay.
Right now, Pleris Mobile is in recess. When people ask me what happened to Pleris Mobile, I tell them these days that, you know what, we're resting for now. We are strategizing, we are planning, we've learned a lot of stuff over time. we've made our mistakes, we've learned our lessons, and then we're trying to like come back with something better and something that would, go beyond what we could have ever imagined.
Okay, so you talked about making mistakes. What really happened?
I read somewhere that being great, you have to fail several times. It's not just, failure doesn't just happen to you. It's after, series of failures before you become great. It happens in the entrepreneurial field and world. It's something that you just have to learn and live with.
Okay, so some things did not go well.
A lot of things didn't go well.
Okay.
Aside from, when it comes to the technical aspect, things did go well.
Okay.
But then there were other things that we weren't so aware of then. Financial planning, government support, several things, policies, several things that we weren't aware of then that I got to know while in the business. And then it wasn't just a good. Okay,
I hear you say the business environment was not very conducive for you, and you had a lot of challenges. So, looking back now, what can be done to improve the business environment in Nigeria as it is today?
Wow, that's a tough question. Improving the business environment. Entrepreneurs in Nigeria right now, they're going through a lot. It's not easy. It's not that encouraging. To improve the environment for entrepreneurs right now, we require a lot of government intervention. Trust me, it can come from the private sector. Infrastructure has to be put in place for entrepreneurs to function. Policies have to put in place for entrepreneurs to function, to thrive in this economy. It's not a one-man thing anymore. Not one person can just come up and say, I'm a private entity, I'm going to push entrepreneurship in Nigeria and then make it a wild thing. It can't work that way. Okay. We thought it was going to work, but then after several studies and all that, we realized that, trust me, we need government support. Funny, there are companies we started producing well with in Hong Kong and China that we're friends with. We're actually, I'll call them partners then. One of them is like the 5th largest phone manufacturer in the world right now. We started the same year, 2010.
Okay. So I get that. A bird whispered to me, some fly on the wall, heard you do something, that there's something cooking. You want to share with us briefly?
Good. Like I said, after Previous Mobile, after Previous Mobile, I went into finance, understanding what it takes to actually run a company. Understanding, because trust me, to run a successful company, your finance has to be in place. You need to understand how money works, how money grows. That's what makes things work, money. You need money to run any business. If you're not making money, if you're not making profits in a business, in no time, the profit...
Are you up to something new right now?
Exactly. Now, what we're doing right now is something that would bring stability into whoever is involved in the business.
Okay.
It's a service we're introducing that would help already existing small businesses and business owners
to thrive.
And also encourage commerce and trade.
Okay. So what kinds of people, what class of people can be a part of this new thing you're working on?
Everybody. Now, we're merging a bit of fintech and blockchain technology. It's something that's all over the news right now, blockchain tech. A lot of people are talking about cryptocurrencies, but then this is not cryptocurrency. It's just the technology behind cryptocurrency that we're introducing into the Nigerian market and also all across Africa. It's not just going to be a Nigerian thing. It's going to have a global appeal. So we're bringing in fintech, blockchain, and a little bit of logistics.
Okay. Great. So listening to you, coming from where you're coming from, it's obvious you've weathered a lot of storm, but it doesn't look like you want to give up. What drives you, Femi?
Faith. Faith in humanity and also in God, most especially in God. But then another thing is faith in humanity. I believe that God has put something in us. A part of Him is in everybody. I believe that. And that part is good, because God is good. Believing that exists in everybody I come across, especially in the country as large as Nigeria, makes me comfortable that yes, something good can actually come out of Nigeria at the end of the day. Absolutely. It might be tough. It's going to be tough, trust me. It will be tough. While growing up, I did not understand that. I believed that everything would be rosy. But then I forgot that those roses have thorns. You would be scratched, you would be cut. But you just have to believe in, because if you say you believe in God, then you got to believe in humanity. It's just,
Absolutely.
you can't have one and not the other.
Unfortunately, Femi, there's never enough time on this show to discuss issues like this, but I must say to you and to encourage you that you're on the right path, and God, who has brought you this far, will be faithful to complete that which has begun in you. Don't give up. And I'm happy you're not the resilient, you're not the quiet type who will sit down and throw a pity party. Good luck, brother.
Thank you.
Okay, stay with us, because 700 Club Nigeria will be right back.
Hi, my name is Danuta Sule and I am a photographer. For me, photography is inspired by nature, by beauty, and the work of God's hands. God is the maker and He has created everything beautifully. And reading through the Bible, we notice that God is not just creative, but He pays close attention to detail. You see the detail when He gave the instruction to create the temple. He was very specific about measurements, about colors, and it just makes me realize that God loves details. So every time I look through my lens, I almost never miss a smile, a tear, the touch and show of love, and everything beautiful that God has made. All this has been made possible just because I have the Maker's touch.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 10 says, "Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might, for there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest." Patrick, tell me you know that verse.
Yes, I do. I know it so well that it reminds me of the fact that when God places certain talent in you, it is meant for you to use it for humanity.
Just like Femi, right?
Just like Femi.
Right.
I'm happy that the young man did not say, because Players Mobile did not work at that time, and he throws a pity party, but he says, you know what, I can do something else.
Yeah.
There's always something to do. There's
So true.
always a problem to answer. Always. Once you can say to yourself, I want to be an answer to that problem, you're just doing something.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that he went back to re-strategize. He, picked the lessons he learned, and then he's moving forward.
Yeah.
But the problem most of us have is because many people are employed under other people, and they feel it's not my father's business. Why should I
Absolutely.
kill myself over
And
it?
that mentality is so poor.
Yeah.
It's a poverty mentality, I call it. It doesn't matter who owns the business.
True.
Just like the Bible says, whatever your hands find to do, do it diligently. Be
With
diligent
all
at
thy
it.
might.
Because in those little diligent things you do, the big, like they say, the big is in the small.
The big is in the small. And you may not always have the things you need to do to follow that dream, but it doesn't mean that you should give up on yourself or on the dream. If God gave it to you, trust me, He'll help you make it a reality in His time.
Absolutely. So just keep doing the right things. Keep learning, relearning, and unlearning, okay? This week and beyond, all right? If you'd like us to pray with you or counsel you on any matter at all, please give us a call using the numbers displayed on your screen.
Don't forget to reach out to us on any of our social media platforms. We would love to hear from you. Till we come your way again, here is Henry Joshua singing Shine.
And goodbye and God bless you.
You were a star, and I'm a star too. Oh, yeah. Wherever you are, light up the sky, let it shine so bright. I am shining from the east, you are shining from the west. We are stars, blazing fireballs. Oh, you're the light of the world. Make you shine your shine, make us shine my shine. Let us light up the world. Make you shine your shine, make us shine my shine. Let us light up the world. Walker on the beat. My lights don't go please stop your own. The sky is so big for everyone to shine. You need to tear each other down, cause you are a star. Shining from where you are to where you wanna be. Oh, oh. So make your light so shine, so men go come to praise your papa. I am shining from the east, you are shining from the west. Light up the sky and make it shine so bright. Oh, make you shine your shine, make us shine my shine. Let us light up the world, let us light up the world. Make you shine your shine, make us shine my shine. Let us light up the world. La 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 la. Make you shine your shine, make us shine my shine. Let us light up the world. Let us light up the world. Make you shine your shine, make us shine my shine. Let us light up the world. Oh, oh yeah. Make you shine your shine, make us shine my shine. Let us light up the world. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Make you shine your shine, make us shine my shine. Let us light up the world. Ooh, shine.